Hello, thank you for another spiritual discussion. Let's talk about reality according to Kabbalah. The whole of reality in this world is divided into the four parts of creation: the still, vegetative, animate, and speaking, according to the measure of the will to receive. Those whose will to receive has developed sufficiently receive a drive from above to want what is beyond this world. Following this drive, a person begins to search for a source of pleasure that will fill the new desire until one finds the right teacher. This search may take years, or even more than one lifetime. But if the Creator brings a person to a place where Kabbalah is being taught, it is a sign that you are given an opportunity from above to correct your soul and reach the goal. The desires, with the sparks in them, clothe people in our world and prompt them to awaken towards spirituality, to the light, the Creator. Thus, we are made to come into a group of people who are studying Kabbalah, learning the method by which to achieve the goal. For the creature to merit the title soul, it must stand in its own right, that is, be unaffected by the Creator. This is why the Creator hides himself. By doing so, he helps the soul equalize with him through their own efforts. Each person must reach the root of his or her soul while still living in our world. One who does not incarnate into our world until one achieves the purpose for which one was created. The real difference between spirituality and corporeality, anything that contains a complete desire to receive is considered corporeal, I should say. Anything above this great measure of desire to receive is considered spirituality and the whole reality within them. Corporeal objects are separated from one another by remoteness of location. Spirituals are separated from each other by the discapacity of form between them. All the expressions in the wisdom of Kabbalah that are with time and place do not refer to the imaginary time and place in corporeal reality. Rather, before and after refer to cause and consequence. We refer to the cause as before and to the consequence as after, since every cause precedes its consequence. Although the wisdom of Kabbalah is associated with the Israeli nation and is the basic for its creation and survival under the generations, it does not belong to any one nation or culture. It is a universal wisdom intended to promote every person to the height of one's spiritual development. Just as the force of nature created the still, vegetative, and animate in nature, today's humanity is being pushed towards the next level of development. The development of human desires is a clear sign of this as more and more people of all nations and cultures want to find the answers to life's great question: what is it for? As a result, they are drawn to the wisdom of Kabbalah. Kabbalists expect that as humanity evolves, the value of Kabbalah will spread throughout humanity until the vision of the prophet comes true. They should all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, as recorded in the Bible and the scripture, Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 33. And my house shall be a house of prayer for all the nations. In Isaiah chapter 56, verse 7 in the Bible. Both of these scriptures, of course, is referring to the Creator. In many religions, there is belief that a Messiah will come and redeem humanity. As with other concepts, the wisdom of Kabbalah treats the idea of Messiah very differently. When Kabbalah speaks about the coming of the Messiah, it refers to a force that pulls us out of self love and into love of others. This force, called Messiah, must be revealed within each person and correct the intimate egoism. This is why the writings of Kabbalah have appeared in our generation. When we read these texts, we can draw the reforming light, the force of the Messiah. When we learn the method for acquiring the quality of bestower and love and work to obtain it, it is regarded as meaning the coming of the Messiah. In order to live in a connected system, we too must acquire a nature of connection. And this can be by transforming our nature to bestow and love. When man's development coincides with the overall development of nature, progress feels nice and easy. But when the direction of development is unclear and we do not make ourselves congruent with nature, we feel the development towards a more connected state as though it pushes us unpleasantly from behind. Every Kabbalist can repeat the same operation as the one who wrote it and experience the results expressed in the book. Just as scientists' experiments are validated by others, repeating them and reaching the same results. A person who is not at the level of development required to perform the operation described in the books will not be able to understand it. It is similar to trying to perform the same experiment that a colleague performed, but with inferior and inadequate equipment. Over the years, Kabbalists have used different ways to express the same revelations they experience, depending on when they live and their own ability to express what they have found. For people who are still unable to understand the experiment, these different expressions of the same phenomena seem as though they wrote about different phenomena when in fact the differences between the various authentic Kabbalah books is merely superficial in the presentation, not in the content. The books that were written by Kabbalists have one and only goal to explain how to gradually ascend from egoism to altruism and thereby discover the one and constant force that operates in all of nature. The upper force never changes. All that changes is our ability to equalize with it, study it, and express what we have found. When Kabbalists invert their will to receive as a desire to bestow and achieve equivalence of form with the Creator, they receive all the degrees that have been prepared for them in the upper worlds. Kabbalistic texts deal with two main processions. The first is called from above downward, and the second is called from below upward. The first procession, from above downward, consists of learning the structure of reality. It describes how reality formed from its root, how it exists and developed to a state where the desire to reveal the hidden operating system appears in a person. In this procession, we learn the hanging down of the upper world to the corporeal world. Keep in mind that the term world does not relate to a physical world, but to a certain state in the development of the will to receive in the created being. The second procession in learning Kabbalah is called from below upward. It describes how we can evaluate our qualities to the point where we truly discover the system of the upper worlds. Every ascent and degree entails a correction of the ego from wanting to delight only oneself to wanting to bestow. On each degree, one acquires more desire to bestow and senses the Creator according to one's level of correction. This process continues until complete similarity with the Creator is achieved. Learning Kabbalah is very different from any other study in that its goal is not to provide knowledge, but to evoke an inner change that will allow the disciple to discover the operating system of reality. The system of reality is a network of spiritual forces that we can study how it works and affects us and how we can respond to it to our benefit. Revealing the system is not related to the amount of knowledge we have acquired about it, but to the extent to which we try to connect to others with bestower and love. This transformation takes place when we implement the method that Kabbalists teach. If Kabbalah books describe a network of forces that we neither feel nor understand, what is the point of studying this system in the first place? The answer is the purpose of studying the system is to awaken in the student the desire to discover it. Reading the books and absorbing impressions from the explanations of the Kabbalists about the structure of the system evokes a desire to acquire that quality of restorer and discover the system of the upper worlds firsthand. The desired outcome of learning Kabbalah is expansion of our awareness to a level where we can see not only this world, but also the network of forces that operate on the still, vegetative, animate, and human levels. Happiness depends on how we work with our will to receive. The next step in our development as intelligent beings take us into the research of the deepest levels of our being. There we can find the root of all our problems and their solutions. And here the wisdom of Kabbalah can help. When we develop the desire to bestow, we will discover that the act of giving, emerging from ourselves towards others, is the only thing that provides lasting satisfaction. On the other hand, when one rises above the desire to receive for oneself and to the desire to do good to others, he or she equalizes with the power of bestower concealed in nature. Such a person can absorb that force and, as a result, partake in the operation of reality and rise to a new level of existence. Each and every individual will understand that his own benefit and the benefit of the collective are one and the same. And by this, the world will come to its full correction. In bringing this video to a close, please feel free to share it with others. And if you would like to see more of this type of content, please click the subscribe button below on this channel. Also, after subscribing, if you click the notification bell, you will be notified of any new videos that I make. I would also love to have your comments and questions below. Just be respectful to one another. And again, I say thank you.